Hello everyone, welcome to today's funny moments. We're about to unveil the hilarious secrets between civilization and savagery. At this moment, Taina lit a lamp, and the nun's emotions began to simmer. We need to get out of here fast. Let's get out of here. We don't want to get burned by these nuns' flames. After a round of nun training, Taina planned to escape this hell, and the head priest discovered that all the nuns had lost their minds by morning. The principal was determined to find Taina at all costs, and the most likely informant was her friend who was always glued to her side. Where did she go? I don't know, but after a slap, I'll ask again. The girl still insists she doesn't know, so it'll slap her again until she enters dreamland, and then the principal drags her into the office. The girl finally snapped and revealed the truth. Taina intended to return to her Indian tribe, but the principal was skeptical. The school took steps to stop girls from escaping. Located 700 minutes 800 km from the tribe, by a desert jogging lane. After hearing the principal's nasty words, the girl's inner Indian spirit woke up and began blessing the principal in tribal language. Taina will definitely make it home. Then she led her tribe for revenge. The principal, enraged, punched, then kicked with satisfaction, and ordered all priests and nuns to launch a carpet operation. Soon they discovered Taina's escape route and sent 3 priests to capture her, while Taina was casually strolling through the desert. A branch was trailing behind her, used for wiping away her travel traces. At night, she hid in a cave, only to be followed by a wolf in the mist. She roared at the wolf, scaring it away. Just as she wanted to close her eyes and sleep, she hurriedly threw a stone and seized the chance to grab her belongings and escape. She climbed up a stone pillar in a hurry and temporarily evaded danger, but this night wolf had no plans to give up and just sat below waiting. Even so, Taina fell asleep like a little kitten. When she awoke, she found herself surrounded by a bunch of happy sheep, led by her fellow Indian Hank. Her repressed feelings finally relaxed as she recounted her year-long training under the nuns to Hank. Hank truly felt her pain and decided to lend a hand. He took her to find her parents and made her wear his son's clothes, giving her a special name. He said he would ask about Taina's father when his son returned, then burned all Taina's clothes taken from school, but Grandma wasn't so lucky. 2 white detectives arrived at her house, claiming her granddaughter had caused a terror incident at school. Her grandma was utterly confused. The white detectives barged into the room without a care in the world, ignoring Grandma's pleas. They turned the room upside down, creating chaos. Grandma shouted, get out," and ended up fainting after hitting the wall. The other detective watched this unfold and simply nodded, saying, yeah, she attacked you." The 2 detectives left empty-handed and swaggered away. The next morning, Taina's father visited Grandma and was greeted by a horrifying scene. The house was in shambles, clearly indicating someone had rummaged through it, yet there were no valuables to be found. Hoofprints indicated that 2 people had come, and they were official agents. A young guy came to inform Taina's dad that his daughter had escaped. He was very grateful, and reminded the guy not to take the main road, saying he would go and fetch his daughter. He buried his mother and geared up, ready to show those bad guys what blood debts repay blood. But the young guy encountered 3 priests on his journey. The priest saw he was young and demanded to take him back to the school, but the young guy resisted with a torch. The 2 fists are no match for 6 hands, and the young man was quickly taken down. Subtitles: he had been tied up and taken back to the school. When Taina's father finally arrived at the scene, he only saw the young man's horse wandering idly around, and he instantly realized something had gone terribly wrong. Following the trail, they caught up. That night, the priest was giving the young guy a brainwashing, saying, "This is my biggest fear at night." The subtitles read, the 2 individuals didn't dare to pause and promptly embarked on their journey, as the other 2 priests were already on their way to the young man's house. However, they were still 1 step behind and discovered Taina. Recognizing her as a disguised student, Taina immediately made a run for it, fighting back fiercely and poking 1 priest in the eye. Luckily Hank arrived just in time, and as 1 priest tried to escape, Hank shot him down, heading home. It turned out the 1-eyed priest was not dead. He picked up the gun and took down Hank before heading straight for Taina. "Oh my goodness, y'all better come back alive." Taina hurriedly rushed back to Hank's side, but he was already lifeless. The school called over a mischievous sheriff, who was told by the principal to bring reinforcements for the capture. The sheriff learned that Tana's friend had unfortunately died and asked the priest for the truth. The priest took her to the graveyard, saying, "These hunters are like wolves. Do you want to be arrested?" The sheriff agreed to go after them and brought the priest along. Meanwhile, Tana had already been found by her dad. Even though she was injured, the father and daughter didn't dare linger, knowing more white people were on their way, so they fled with the young guy. They planned to go to a southern Indian tribe. Principal and sheriff searched along the way. First, they found a priest who had been scalped, obviously as revenge for the old habits against whites. When they reached Hank's place, they stumbled upon two dead priests. There were messages written on their stomachs saying, "Child killer," and no trace was left around. After some discussion, they suspected a route north to Canada. The better bet was heading south for 1,000 miles to find their tribal mates, so they decided to catch a train. The man was drinking whiskey alone, using masking. Not far away, the wealthy young ladies were all swooning over him, and the girl instantly realized that he was American. His cowboy attire made him the perfect image of wild Africa, thrilling the noble girls from London. Luckily, she knew the man named Spencer was a war hero from World War I, who became a famous hunter post-war. He hunted giant beasts threatening humanity in Africa, and it said he could fist-fight tigers and take down leopards. What's not to love about a man like that?